Parents want the best for their children, and many spare no expense when it comes to necessities like education, insurance, and food. But how much does it cost to raise a child in Singapore?
We are 150k, 200k.
I think about 200 or 300, I'm not sure.
300k.
Yeah, a few hundred Ks definitely.
Around 50k.
Definitely it's 100k and above.
800,000 if you want the quality.
80,000.
Yeah.
Jenny Tan, Senior Manager of Financial Services at Manulife Singapore, said that Singaporean parents need at least $400,000 for their children's education and living expenses.
In order to raise up a child from 0 to age 18, typically Singaporeans parents would need to set aside almost 400,000. 260,000 basically is the living expenses, and the balance 160,000 would be for the medical insurance for the child as well as the education fund, which will be amounted to 100,000.
Jenny's calculations are based on a combined household monthly income of $10,000. To save the $400,000 sum, a couple will need to set aside $1,800 every month.
We do set aside around 1,000k each month, around there.
About $1,000.
Each one around 300.
1,000 a month. Trying to save a little bit here and there.
Me and my husband 1,000. To make sure it's enough.
Per month, I'll save up about $600 for them, just for their school and for their meals. It's different thing. For their diapers, their formula, different.
About a few $100s each month. I think half of my salary.
Most parents Razer TV spoke to said they started saving even before their child was born. But they agree that raising a child in Singapore is expensive compared to other countries. A British survey found that the average cost of raising a child from birth to 18 years in the UK is 100,000 Singapore dollars, while parents in China and the United States need $60,000 and $280,000 respectively.
Before they go into primary school, I think the most expensive is still childcare. After starting school, I think it will be daily expenses. And maybe if the parents would like to have enrichment programs, then those are the expensive things.
Medical and education, I think. Once in a while I go to the clinic, then it costs about 80 to 100 per visit if he has fever. But I'm glad that primary school and secondary school actually the fees is quite low because government subsidize for it.
What do you think is most expensive about raising a child?
Currently to me it's more on enrichment classes because I don't really teach them. So I leave it to the enrichment class to teach.
Daily foods and then the school, all the very expensive.
Which one costs the most?
The fees when they grow up to secondary school and above.
School is much more expensive than the days that back then. It's much more expensive now. Even for a 4-year-old to go to nursery, it costs them 100 plus per month. Much more than what we used to pay.
Jenny recommends that couples set aside at least 10% of their monthly income for their child.
We can actually use the CPF to help them enhance as such that they can use the CPF money for the children to use for their education fund in future too. But of course that is not wise because CPF fund is meant for their retirement. Another option for parents to do will be to cut down certain expenses. For example, instead of having a babysitter or helper, they can actually engage the grandparents to look after them. Or of course, to cut down tuitions or maybe to send them to group tuitions. Certain areas can be adjusted to bring up the child. However, one most important thing that cannot be compromised will be the medical insurance for the child, as this will help to ease future medical fee.
Every little bit counts when it comes to budgeting for your children's future, but the most important thing is to plan ahead.